Yes, hello. I should be live now. So this is gonna be a cast of the Doctrine show match between Otto and Greg. It's a best of 5 with random saves. So let's see if we get some good. Let's hope we get some good games in here. It's only gonna be a mega random, and saves were all random. It's basically random, no repeats. So let's see what's going on. Um,
Hey man,
Heyo,
how you doing?
I'm doing well. Ready to cast here?
Yes. Where can I find the file? Do you know?
Well, it's live, so just go in and you will see it there.
Live where?
Just go to click spectate.
Go. Sorry.
The spectate tab and just search for Fac Et Spera or Otto.
Oh, right. Got it.
Which will also be played at the exact same time as them. There's
Wait, but
sieves.
how do I cast then? Is someone else recording me or?
What do you mean?
Well, I don't have any recording equipment myself. I always like cast with like
I'm
Foster
streaming.
and Foster.
We're live at the moment. We're streaming.
Oh, you're already streaming. Sorry,
Already in game at the moment, so
you're not in game. Oh.
I'm in game, yeah. But I'm on the Smurf,
Uh,
so you can't probably see me because of that. I had a
okay.
leadership for a second there. They're making a lumber camp. We're starting with cows, and I think this is gonna be a interesting match, to be honest. Smaller wood
Yeah.
lines close to TC, bigger woodlands on the edges. I think the stone terrain you can see around the bases are unwallable, for if memory serves right. But all gold, all stone, and bears are very close to the TC. Then you have 6 relics in the middle. Tell me when you're in game, or the AR spectating.
I'm looking for now. What is the game title?
I just search for one of the names, Fac Et Spera or Viesturs Otto.
Oh, yeah,
Should come out then.
got it.
Yeah. I'm live at the moment. There's no spec delay, so hopefully none of them are watching. So, to the west side we have Greg playing as Italians, and on the east side we have Otto playing as Vikings. So, I would probably prefer Vikings in most cases here, but I would say that skills-wise they are quite equal, so it shouldn't be the worst thing. Otto is now
No,
milling his ears.
two relatively strong archer civs going up against each other.
But also with Italians you do have the flexibility of having very good cavalry as well. You do get fully upgraded cavaliers as well as fully upgraded hussar. That could be interesting.
Exactly. Although both civs are not known for their cavalry, and also the berserker has a pretty good anti-cavalry option.
And also with the stone just this close to the TCs, they should be able to get castles up quite reasonably, I would say.
Is this the first game that back?
This is the first game, yeah.
Okay, of the best of 7, right?
Was it? I thought it was a best of 5, but I might be wrong.
Oh,
there.
a best of 5. Oh, could be a best of 5 as well. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, good start to the game for both players. Both Otto is choosing to lure some deer at his TC, while Greg is going for scouting. Greg wants to have map information first. Otto seems to be pretty confident. He's not going to need that map info. Greg was looking, by the way, if you go to Fac Et Spera's point of view, you see that he was doubting where to place his lumber camp, because the woodlines are, as you've already said, pretty bad on this map, apart from going to the edges of the map. But that's a pretty big risk you take, of course, by going to the edge of the map like that. And Otto now also putting on a lumber camp. I don't like Fac Et Spera's lumber camp position, if I'm honest.
What time are you at the moment, actually? Because
I'm at 2:55.
Just speed through it because I'm live at 7:45 at the moment. So.
Oh, sorry. Well,
No
as I was saying, if you look at Fac Et Spera's lumber camp here, it's rotated towards the exterior of the base. So that means that if he does get attacked that way, that his villagers have to walk around the woodline to get to his TC. So compared that to Otto's woodline, seems to be much safer, much closer distance to the TC.
That is correct though, but usually I would say that it would matter more, I would say, if they're playing against scouts, right? You wouldn't expect scout play for either of these civs. Also, by looking
No,
at
exactly.
population at the moment, both of them are going up. Not even going up still, yet at 23 pop. Well, I do actually see that Otto has actually lost his scout here, I'm guessing to the TC, which I might have missed.
And it also looks like Otto and Fac are going for different army compositions. Otto's heavy on wood and already on gold, which indicates to me that he's going for archers, whereas Greg is only 5 on wood. Fac is only 5 on wood and focusing on establishing a food economy first with already 5 farms in Dark Age, which is quite a lot.
I'm gonna have to admit I'm a bit unsure exactly what any of them are going for at the moment, because the builds are a bit weird to me. You see that Otto milled his deer while...
Yeah. Otto's going for militia, apparently. He's making militia
only
already.
One at the moment, so...
Yeah.
Also, if you look at timings, both of 22 pop perfect uptime there would be 10:05 with loom, so... I'm not sure what they're planning here. I would actually guess
if Otto would...
If Otto would...
If Otto would go for a militia, go for the militia play here, that would be very effective because Greg's I think both of his wood lines are actually kind of exposed. You can see that most of his lumberjacks are rotated towards the exterior of the base, which means that they have to walk all the way around to reach TC. So that's ideal for Dark Age Rush. So I think that could have been a really good play, and it looks like Otto might actually commit to that play because he's already making 4 militia now. He's probably going to go for the upgrade to men-at-arms as soon as he hits feudal age. And that would be very effective. If you get a couple of men-at-arms in there, Fac is going to lose a lot of those.
I also think that Greg is trying to go for false castler. If you look at his resources, he already has 700 food playing as Italians, but he's going to be housed immediately for a short second. He's actually going for a stable here. That's interesting.
Yeah. He spotted the militia, soon to be men-at-arms. But it looks like Otto's making the wise choices, walking on. Fac still has a second wood line that's completely exposed. Now he has to get exactly what I said. You know, he has to get all those villagers off of the wood line, and the only way to do that is by going around by a lot. So losing a lot of villagers.
I'm wondering what the effect of the stable will do here, because they're now adding in 4 scouts already in queue here. Which I would have liked if it was, let's say, 2 minutes earlier, but at this point I would say that it's very late to go for scouts. Especially when you already have men-at-arms in your own base.
Exactly, and also men-at-arms trade pretty well versus scouts. Scouts only have a 5 attack, whereas men-at-arms have 6 attack. The only difference is that scouts have better armor, and but even less HP, so...
Look at that lumber camp for Greg now at the moment. That's 16 villagers taking a single... we have men-at-arms already ready to idle everything.
Yeah. Otto apparently idling his men-at-arms. Should really try and move forward. There's just a lot of exposed villagers. Oh, he's only now building a wall. Oh my god, Otto could have prevented all of this. Move his men-at-arms forward.
Tower going up now, yeah. We also see double range coming up from Otto. You can just stay under and fight, right? He's still gonna idle everything and might be able to kill a few villagers. One villager down. Take the tower, take the tower.
He's not microing his men-at-arms at all, though. That's a problem. Oh no, is he just... What's Otto doing in his face?
Well, there's 2 villagers down, but now the men-at-arms are dead, so... You see a 4-2 kill death ratio for Greg at the moment, but he's also been housed a fair bit, and he's already 5 villagers behind Otto. And also his own one is actually making a lot of army at this point.
Yeah, Otto's going for at least 7 archers here. Fac only has 6 scouts, not also upgraded.
Just getting in there. Well, I think Otto is undermaking spearmen at this point, though. He only got 1 out from what I can see.
Yeah.
Getting a blacksmith up now, and probably soon gonna be going for fetching, I would suspect. Don't have it yet, and is dangerous close to the TC at this point.
It's gonna be hard for Otto to do a lot of damage with these archers, though, since Greg's already transitioned to making some very useful watchtowers.
1 village down in the woodland from Otto. walling in 2 villages
Yeah,
by
just stay mobile.
one tree.
Yeah. Fac should try and stay mobile and explore the rest of the base. Should not waste his time trying to attack a house. Probably not even going to go down.
Blacksmith also coming up from Greg at this point. Now that I'm having the resources to click up at this point. I would say that I like Otto's position. Oh, Otto overshot the trees there, I think, and suddenly it's gonna be 2 more villages down. Should be
also,
at least.
Otto did not micro his archers very well at backspace. He only got 1 bill kill out of that and lost. Did he lose an archer? Yes, I think he lost an archer. So he is discovering Greg's second woodline, and again, the woodlines here are just atrocious. Greg should really try to, I don't know, go to the edge of the map and make a lumber camp there, and then maybe guard it with some towers. But now it's just, yeah, and Otto also heavy casualties.
Both sides are just losing a lot at this point.
Yeah. It's yes, exactly. It's I think the most difficult thing here is trying to figure out who's losing the most. But it's been a very messy game for both of them.
Now you can also see that Greg is running into the TC of Otto here. Suddenly he's only got a single scout left.
Yeah.
Which I would say that
I don't know what both players are doing, but they're not microing their army very well at this moment, at least. Otto went in with his initial 4 men-at-arms. He could have absolutely destroyed Fac's woodline, but they just stood there idling. And then Greg just lost scouts fighting under TC, and Otto again not doing a whole lot with his archers. Yeah.
I think I would prefer Otto's position in this game because he's getting army out on the field at the moment, right? He has also forced 2 towers out from Greg at this point.
Yeah. Plus, also, Otto is way closer to going up to Castle Age. Fac has virtually no resources. Whereas Otto at least is going towards Castle Age, you can see that. But yeah, no, it does look like Greg sustained a lot more damage, having to go off of his woodline, having to build a new woodline, having to mine stone now with how many villagers is that? Knutan? Is that 8 villagers mining stone? I mean, I think that is he going just gonna build towers all across his base and then try and survive the archer onslaught that Otto's trying to inflict upon him? I don't know. Again, in fact, just losing his scout to a spear unnecessarily.
You kind of need to add in skirms at this point if you're playing from Fac at this point, right?
Yeah.
Because if he gets into a combo, let's say with 5 scouts and 8 or 7 skirmish, I think it would be fine, but like this, I just don't see him holding for too long.
No. Also, Fac has 8 idle villagers that are just not doing anything right now. He's not. It looks like he's just lost control of the game completely. And
Otto also has 6 idle stoves, so I guess it works for both of them.
Okay, well, I mean, I can kind of see Greg's strategy now is building towers all across his base so that whenever archers do pass by, because it does look like Otto's been investing heavily into archers.
But Otto idle now and went up to Castle Age, so...
Oh, okay, so he's going to go for... Well, I mean, if Greg eventually ever reaches Castle Age, which I mean, Fac, which I do not see happening, actually, because his resources are so low. If he would get there and get the tower upgrade, that would be a pretty good way to hold against pure archer play, and then maybe, I don't know, try and drop a cast in the middle, secure the relics, go from there maybe. But right now it's not looking good, and I'm just really worried when I see Fac's resource count. It's barely going up. He's as close to reaching Castle Age as he was 10 minutes ago now. So
Otto losing 1 villager to a scout on the top, managing
and also losing 2 archers
to the TC, I guess.
Yeah, fighting under TC again.
I would actually really enjoy Otto just adding a siege worker forward and using the hill to take down the TC of Fac Et Spera here. Also just grabbing the relics at the top there. That's 6 relics up free for him almost.
Exactly.
You're now forcing off a market and might try to buy himself up, I guess. Sell some stone now and just buy food.
Yeah. I mean, he does have a lot of stone. And Yeah, he's offloading the stone on the market.
Mm.
And now he's really going for. He's got 16 villagers on stone right now. So
I wish he would just sell 100 more and click up. Is it Italians? Those cheaper, right? I wonder if we might see the GG soon.
It's not looking good. It's not looking good for Greg.
Yeah.
I think we can both agree on that.
And GG is probably cold there.
Yeah.
So the first game goes to Otto then.
First game goes to Otto.
Quite convincing game, I would have to say. But I also think it's just how it works on these distances, right? Either you have to go for scouts, but they don't have to go up, let's say, 1.5 minutes earlier. If you look at when they actually got up to feudal age, Greg will get up at almost 12 minutes. As a usual scout rush, you're usually clicking up at something like 90 pop and up around 9:20. So
I think can we say that Fac was maybe not expecting Otto to be so aggressive and go into Man at Arms directly? Was he somehow expecting Otto to come later and then by then have gone for a very fast castle and then maybe I don't know go Mangonel or go I don't really know what his strategy exactly was. And also I think the biggest problem for Greg and the thing I noticed right away from the very first minute was his position on his lumber camps is just really bad. He had a lumber camp that was
I think it was mostly just the strategy here, right? Because he went up almost at 12 minutes. That's a fast castle time, I would say, most of the time. Because he almost had the resources except the gold to click straight up the castle age. And then he goes for scouts, right? It's just way too late to ever get any use out of those. You need to go for probably go for an archer range in that case. Because then you can at least defend against both the men at arms as well as the archer follow-up, which is most likely coming. So it's just a bad strategy call in my head. You can also see me just... If you have to add in towers like this, it's just... usually means that the game is already over.
I mean, towers can be a cost-efficient way to deal with archers if you don't want to go into making an archery range, if you don't want to go into making skirm. So I can see that, but it's a little too it's too little, too late for Fac, and I think that's generally true for this entire game. He's just been reacting to what Otto's been doing, and not really going for any clear strategy himself. Like you said, he saw the archers, I think saw the men at arms, and started to freak out, and then was like, "Oh, I need to go scouts now," and that was a little bit too late. But again, though, I do want to emphasize though, like the first lumber camp he had, that was just like towards the outer ring, the outer edge of his base. I still think that was a very risky position.
Sorry to interrupt, but are you ready for the second game? Then we would start.
Yes, we're ready for the second game.
All right, good. We're gonna start it then.
Yes, sounds good to us.
Okay, looking for the game.
So, I guess we're
Is it auto hosting or Fac?
Yeah, search for both of them and it should come up anyways.
It's not finding it right away.
I found it, yeah. Mega Random. This time it's gonna be Vietnamese versus the Indians.
Interesting.
Otto playing Indians and Fac Et Spera playing as with Vietnamese. They're actually starting with a barrack at this point. And starting with quite far from each other. Resources, I can see extra sheep at this point. Double berry bushes. There's a lot of food in this map, but there's only a single boar from what I can see.
And also, I think to Fac's advantage to this game is at least that Otto is quite far away from him. So I think last game he had a lot of difficulties dealing with Otto's pressure, and so the distance now I think will help him a little bit more. I'll be interested to see who goes for the fish as well. I mean, because they have one pond that's basically close to both of them, and then one far pond. So
well, I'm also a bit more wondering if they will ever even scout those ponds.
All right. Yes. Of course. Yeah. The players are playing Mega Random, so they have no idea what the map is supposed to look like.
But if you look at this, right, I would expect that, let's say, Fac Et Spera should probably know that he should be expecting scouts there. I'm wondering if he will just try to wall up and go for a fast castle or something like that. Because it doesn't feel like it should be too tough to wall this map.
Well, I mean, yeah, if Otto is playing with Indians, so I think expecting scouts is a pretty fair guess. Maybe I think maybe the reasoning behind Fac's pick for Vietnamese was that Fac wanted to deal
They
with
didn't pick
Otto's
actually.
archers,
I can tell
right?
you that they
Oh, they
didn't
didn't
actually.
pick. Oh, right,
It they used Wheel of Fortune to decide which
right.
civs they were playing.
Oh,
So all the civs are completely random. They're just not repeating them. You can see 4
okay,
wood
well
coming
then.
from Fac Et Spera, which is usually a sign for going for archers. And
It
you
would make
see,
sense given how he's Vietnamese. So.
you see 3 on wood from the Indians play, which is also usually a sign from going for scouts or men at arms. Probably scouts in
I
this case.
wonder, yeah. Wonder what Otto is doing though. If he is actually going for the scout build, because you know he knows that Fac will expect that. He knows that Fac will try and anticipate. So no,
I do think that
try
they
and
would like them
surprise
to
him.
go less on wood at this point, right? Because you're already starting with the barracks. You shouldn't need as much wood this time, so let's say only making instead a single villager on the lumber camp should be enough until
Hmm.
later in Dark Age. Just go for food so you can click up earlier. Idle house villager from Otto at the top. Both of them floating a lot of ghosts at this point. Otto now having 11 ghosts here.
So far, neither have spotted the fact that there's water on this map. So I don't think either of them is going to go for
At this
this,
point,
which
none of their builds are really set up for either, right?
yes, exactly. Also, Otto is going into pushing gear, so I don't think he's scout any further. And then Greg is still exploring the map. But I don't think he's gonna be able to spot that. You know, having spotted that would have been huge for both of them, though. Having that efficient eco could really help, especially for Greg. Greg, who was very vulnerable to raids last game, so maybe.
We do see the first wall off coming out from both Otto trying to wall off the front of his base and Greg walling the side here.
Exactly.
I don't like how he's positioning the ghosts here. He's actually taking 3 different ghosts at this point at the top here. Really sloppy, and now Greg is also gonna mill the deer at the side. I wonder if we'll see Otto click up soon. They're still lacking some of the food here. Might be maybe because they didn't have a boar. Only a single boar, I mean. Even idling a bit now. Still lacking the food to click up actually, even as Indians. He just did a force drop a bit. And he's doing loom. So idling into clicking loom and then clicking up.
Interesting boulder.
Militia now coming out from Fac Et Spera. Could this maybe be a Drush fast castle even? I think this is actually spotted by quite immediately here. Otto also being patient and seeing it.
So also trying to Otto also stole those sheep, and yeah, I think that might not have been the play to go one by one. That now the surprise effect is completely gone, and Otto will be able to anticipate that really easily. You know, he's already got the entire left side of his base walled pretty much. Then needs to wall up a little bit more on the right side.
Well, I
Be
don't think
fully
it would be
walled,
that.
and
Not
yeah,
like
he's
that
doing
that
that
fight
now.
though.
He's committing to walling now, Otto. So Otto's going to go for the full wall. Maybe open up front, but if you compare that to Greg's base is pretty open.
Greg might actually be housed at this point while he's forcing a house up. Well, Greg is not even close to clicking up, he's still missing 200 food at this point. Well, we don't matter to click up now, he forced dropped everything. And Otto is now going for the sable. Close to his... He had to repair that. Yeah, he's repairing. Nicely done. Don't see this Drush doing too much in this case.
No.
At least as long as Otto is watching. I think Greg can go straight fast castle after this one. At least if he has a bit better eco management than he had last
If he's
game.
lucky, he can snipe off a couple of vills there. Otto does have a lumber camp in the middle there. Oh no, Otto's gonna quick wall that.
Because full there is nice, yeah. Now Otto should be getting scouts out. Of course, he has a lot of idle time in his bridges here. That might be a dead scout actually from Greg.
It's a shame that Otto didn't also. Yeah, it's a shame that Otto also didn't like wall the bottom of his map there, because then he could have completely walled out that Fac's army there. But now Fac's army is gonna come in.
Well, he has 3 scouts out. You can just use the villagers there and take the fight. It should be all good. Now scout is down and just completely clean everything. Not the best fight from Otto. He should have pulled the low HP one away, but still fairly decent. But now we also will have Greg being up to feudal age. I don't see any additional buildings coming up yet though. He's doing eco upgrade, so he's gonna be feudal age play up at least. But I don't see what he's adding though. Just making more farms and just full walling his base.
Yeah, I think Fac will be just able to pull in all his fills inside his walls and then complete that wall so that Otto can't raid him with the scouts. It's gonna be very good. Oh, he needs to. Oh, okay, good. He got that last tile.
What minute are you? What minute are you on?
Oh, I'm at. I'm at 14:05.
Yeah, then you're live then. So, just felt like you were a bit later than me, but I guess not.
Yeah. I did. Otto's scout rush is not going to do much here. Also, Greg has made 3 spears, so 3 spears plus walls means his base is very easy to defend against just scouts. That might give Fac a huge advantage though going into the next stage, having saved those resources and not gone scouts.
Well, if you look at the eco here, right? We can see that. Wait, Greg actually deleted just to get some additional hits in on the scouts here, walling behind them. But yeah, I think the ecos are quite equal there, but you can see that Otto is a fair bit later on to gold here, which is a big difference. But
so, yeah, Otto's food eco is very small, but his wood eco is very big. So he's probably going to go for more archers or go for some archers in the next stage. I don't really know what this means.
Well, at this point I think Otto will just be going straight up to Castle Age after and just using the scouts for map control.
I know, but I meant the way his economy is set up. He's got 13 villagers on. Oh, now he's taking them off wood to go to food. Okay. Never mind. I just wonder what Otto is going to go for next stage, though. Do you know?
He's playing Indians, right? So they are a bit tough to play in some ways. But just keeping the scouts alive, I think, and maybe go for light cav upgrade. And then just going into cav archers maybe, just to get map control and having the opportunity to just run around and snipe things. Could be a good thing to have here. Because if you look at just how open a few of the parts here are, you don't have big wood elves either. So Otto now has resources to click up, but I think he's still lacking the second building. Of course, dropping a blacksmith at the moment before he clicks up. And Greg is just missing some of the gold there. He's already floating 1100 food, so a bit off macro there. But without having, he needs a transition away from onto more to gold at this point. He only has 2 villages on gold and is still lacking 40 to click up. Otto adding in bloodlines at the moment and adding in double archer range at the back, so this is gonna be a cow archer play from Otto.
Oh, so we did go to archers. Interesting.
So,
however, if this goes late game, we both know that if this goes late game though, that Fac is gonna be at an advantage with the strongest scrim in the game, so maybe. maybe he's able to hold on. But again, though, it does look just like last game that Greg is now going for a reactive play, just reacting to what Otto's doing instead of making any bold strategy choices himself. I mean, he's only still on 1 barracks. So it's really unclear what Greg is going to do next age, what kind of strategy he's going to go for.
I think
Well,
archer
he's
range
collecting
now
stone.
finally, so
Yeah.
there's also just so much leader up at this point that he might just lose all momentum here. I think Otto once again will get army momentum and just manage to be annoying enough that Greg will have trouble just staying in at where he wants to
Yeah. Greg is mining stone though, so maybe he's gonna drop a defensive castle and try and hold it out, trying for imp maybe, trying to hide behind his castle, then be like, oh well, in imp I have
be. Ooh, Otto throwing away his cast at this point.
yeah. Imp he has both halberdiers and imp skirms, so I think that pretty much beats anything that Indians make, unless I'm mistaken.
Well, I would say that let's say light cav plus cav archers would be stronger for the Indian player.
Yeah, yeah, but you know, Indians don't really have good infantry. Oh wait, they do actually. They have champions.
I don't think that will come into play this game, to be honest.
No. Oh, but I'm just thinking of in terms of countering that the Vietnamese civ is actually a perfect counter to all of the Indian civ strengths. You know, they have halberdiers, counters the cavalry. They have imperial skirms, which counters all their archers, their hand cannoneers.
I don't think
And
that will
it
really
looks like
matter
he is
that
going for the
much,
castle.
because just having the fully upgraded the heavy cavalry archers late game plus fully upgrade. Oh well, you get +4 I think in. I think you get +4 defense in pierce armor. I think on the scouts as well. So I think that would probably be a better late game composition if well, with these two steves. The castle's coming up now, so we might actually be seeing Rattans coming up. So.
That would be good. Rattans do very good versus cav archers.
Indeed.
So maybe that is the play here.
Castle will probably go up without any losses. Not sure if Otto has seen that yet.
Sloppy though, Otto losing half the HP on one of his cav archers. Spearman. Turns out, oh, excellent micro now though, dodging that arrow fire. But so he's aware of the fact that Greg has built a defensive castle.
We do
Greg
see
now
Rattan
adding a
production
second
coming.
TC. Yeah. But
I'm
Otto also at the same time adding light cav. So maybe yeah, he built a light cav. It's at Fac's castle now.
He also even got upgrades for it, so that's interesting.
Yeah, so he's gonna go for exactly what you said. He's gonna go for cav archer, light cav combo.
He doesn't really have the eco for to sustain this yet. That's the biggest bad thing.
True.
Greg throwing away one of his Rattans there in the middle.
They're definitely much stronger in group than individually. Greg not seeming to commit too hard on making an army right now. I think Greg is under the impression that, oh well, you know, I'm safe here at the castle. But now it looks like Otto's going to bust into the other side of his base where the castle isn't. Now Greg only has 5 or 10 archers, which is not nearly enough to deal with all this. Gonna go try for the quick walls. Interesting. So throwing away a light cav there though. PC. Interesting. Otto's not gonna go in.
I think
Probably
Otto.
thinks, yeah.
I think Otto feels comfortable maybe later game here.
Yeah, and he might also be overestimating the amount of rattan archers that Greg has.
If he gets trapped there and loses all his army, of course, that's gonna be a big deal. Yeah. But I think this probably will go quite later then. Because I don't think Otto will be there to attack too early here. As I say that, of course, he's also going for +2 armor on his cavalry. So I'm not sure
he's
exactly.
Going for, he's going for a lot of blacksmith types actually. So
he already has Balkan already +1 armor for them, and +2 is gonna be coming from the cavalry soon.
Yeah. Also, Greg going for 4 TCs now.
That's greedy. That's
Well,
too greedy, I think.
Yeah, it's super greedy, but maybe he can do it. I mean, he's building one TC with only one bill, so he's not investing that much.
I think that was ballistics actually from Otto, if I saw it correctly. Just does have university up, so maybe.
The Rattan archers do so poorly versus the light cap, though. That's going to be an issue. He's going to have to add in some pikemen here.
Well,
Spearmen.
just need to get some upgrades on him, I think, as well. At the moment, he only he's working only with fleshing, right?
Yeah, they only have +1/+1 right now.
So at
Still,
this
though,
point,
yeah.
at this point, the light cav only takes 2 damage, so you need 40 arrows to kill a single light cav.
Yeah, it's a very inefficient trade. He's not
Well,
adding in pikemen. You should probably think about doing that. Otto does have 4 light cav.
Well, if you take a look at the villager counts, they are actually exactly identical at this point. Army count is in
Greg
favor.
adding a second castle in the back of his base. It looks like, I don't know, Knutan, what this looks like to you, but it looks like Greg is going for a really, really greedy castle exclusion. Let's go into some sort of massive eco here.
Otto is trying to gonna add a 4 siege workshop on the right side of Greg's base. Villager on the way. So that's gonna be interesting.
Maybe Greg is trying to play the late game here. Maybe he does think, well, I have a better late game options. Which is true, I think. The enemies do have better late game options than Indians when they're playing each other. I think maybe he might be counting on that. Yeah, he is adding that 4th TC now, so Greg is not thinking of going to Imperial Age anytime soon. If you compare that to Otto's resources, Otto is pretty close to clicking to him. If he sells some resources here and there and waits idle to TC for a couple of minutes, you can click right up.
The thing is, what will Otto actually do in Imperial, right? He doesn't have army control yet. He does not have an army leader, and he doesn't have a castle, so he can't really trade anything.
Greg is pushing forward with his Rattan archers. Now, I don't know if I agree with this move, because if you're going for such a greedy boom, I think it's better to leave your army at your base so that you can defend your base if necessary. I don't know if having your army so far out from your base is a good idea in this situation.
But he does have 2 castles up at this point, so I guess he probably feels quite safe in his own base.
True, but the right side of his base is very vulnerable right now.
And also with a siege worker coming up and a battering ram actually coming out. I don't agree with that choice. That should be a Mangonel, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if he had a Mangonel, he could have sniped a lot of those though in that right woodline of Greg. The other woodline as well, with his 2nd TC that he built there, out of his base. Greg also not just doing anything with his Rattans right now. He's prospectively looking into maybe attacking a palisade there, but maybe he'll snipe 1 bill. Yeah. Oh, he sniped 1 bill. Now he reveals his position to Otto, and Otto is going to send all his army over there, and I think that Fac will not win that. Yeah, 5 light cav mixed in. I don't think he can win that, but we'll see.
Let's see what Greg actually sees there.
I think he's going to get cleaned up here.
I agree with you, Maybe not actually. If he marks this well, he could actually win it.
The light cav do a lot. They do soak up so much arrow.
This is not a fight I also can take actually. If you just mark us back there a bit earlier, and maybe even take the hill at the right side of his army, it's just gonna move back, I think. So, but this point I would favor the Vietnamese player a lot, because he's gonna get into his ideal composition there. Rattans, maybe
let's not forget, enemies late game much stronger than Indians when they're playing each other. The imp skirm, the halberdier, they even get fully upgraded halberdier as well. Add insult to injury. Oh no, they don't. They lack the last attack upgrade. Yeah, as time goes on, Otto's Civ becomes kind of a disadvantage. So I don't know.
I also don't like how Otto is playing at this moment, right? He's going up the imp into what basically? He doesn't really have a big army. He has not expanded anything. He has been on stone, so he can probably get a castle up. I think he has enough for a castle, but
He's moving Vils forward now. I don't know what he's gonna
He's
do with
gonna add a
that.
castle in the middle in front of his own base, and also adding a 4th TC on the
All right.
gold at his left. But I just don't like seeing it, right? Greg now has, I think, his 3 castles up. He's taking the gold at the top now. He's really
Yeah.
fortunate spot there with the extra golds. Because those are not his golds, I think those are both extra golds.
Hmm.
Of course, his secondary main gold is, well, obviously 4 cap trams coming in now from Otto.
Hmm.
I don't get
I
this
don't
push.
know. No, and also Cav archers against the Tan archers is never a good fight. You know, the Tan archers have 6 pierce armor, so and Otto's Cav archers currently only do 9 damage, so they only do 3 damage per shot, which means that they need a hell of a lot of shots to kill that army of Tan archers.
Fully upgraded cavalry archer
Yeah.
does 11 damage, right? I think a fully upgraded Rattan has 8 pierce, so I think that would be 3 damage per shot.
Yeah. I mean, I do agree with Otto's choice of going for light cav as well. He's got 9 light cav already now. I think mixing in light cav, going for the upgrades on the light cav could be very good. I mean, light cav does have 6 pierce armor, so option. And Otto's going for the huge ram push on the right. Oh,
He doesn't
Greg
really
doesn't
have
have any melee
anything
units.
supporting it, right? Well, now he's coming with
Yeah.
a few light cav.
Oh, Fac's not even seeing that. Fac's gonna drop a castle from the crime scene. Oh, he's gonna lose all those kills as well if he's not careful. Oh, he's not
He should,
careful.
yeah.
Oh.
But also he's also not watching, so...
They're both not really watching
I
what's
just don't
happening.
see what are they missing, right? Well, Otto is actually finally using his light cav there. I want to see Greg quickly walling those in.
Oh, okay, he did wall those in. Thank God.
Rattan's now coming over, they have
Yeah.
+4
The problem
at
is,
the moment.
what the Ratton's gonna do against the Rams? Greg should have gone into Titan a while back, and now it's coming back to haunt him.
I think you should
He's
just
losing a lot of points there.
fall back a bit, because this is not really that important a part of this phase at the moment.
Yeah.
It's a bit of eco, but just fall back, kill the micro down the light cav, and just go for the army, right? Don't even keep thinking about the Rams.
Yeah, he should have garrisoned his TTs.
The TCs won't matter that much at this point, but this is actually a much better push for Otto than it should have been, in my opinion. Otto's still actually missing chemistry and well, the chemistry, I guess. Not sure if he has Parthian on those. But...
This is a really good push for Otto. Greg's suddenly down by more than 20 villagers. It still has no melee units to deal with those rams. He's gonna lose a castle if he's not careful about it.
You should just batter those down with... It does 3 of those rams are now very low HP, and Otto is now actually losing all his cavalry archers. You can now see just... I think it's gonna be full Hussar spam now, probably. Army boys, they really prefer Greg's position here, and also just having the gold eco. I think it will serve him well here, but Otto will have the stronger eco behind it. But he just does not have the army numbers at this point. He only has 5 military, and that's only 5 Hussar.
Exactly. I think you misspoke. I think you said you preferred Greg's position, but I think you meant you preferred Otto's position?
Nope.
You preferred Greg's position?
Yes.
No, I mean, Otto's up like, what, 30 villagers? Plus, he's, Greg's base is fairly open, so kind of vulnerable to Hussar raids, to losing even more villagers, to getting behind on eco even more. And at the same time, Greg has not really been able to push Otto. So I don't know. Currently, as it stands, it does look like Otto, in my opinion, is in a better position. But there's a big ball of Rattan archers coming his way, so interested to see how he's going to deal with that.
That's actually fully upgraded elite Rattan archers with 10 pierce armor.
He's not going to spot them. Oh, he's moving his Hussars away. That's not... Okay, but Greg at the same time not really rushing that well. Also a lot of time attacking that farm.
I do agree, dude. Let's say that Greg just added in 2 barracks and just go for, not even Halberdies, just going for pikemen. I think the entire push of Otto will become stopped immediately.
Yeah, and
Both of them are being very hesitant, right? I think Otto is now coming back and trying to deal with the ball of rat archers.
You should
I'm
probably
not
get
sure
that.
if that's enough actually. I think Greg should be able to macro this down fairly easy.
Yeah, yeah. If he sheltered near wood line, sure.
Patrol,
He's not gonna
patrol,
spot
patrol!
it. He's not gonna spot it. Oh no.
Oh no. Oh,
Oh,
he's...
he's losing so many returns here. Oh, he's gonna lose all his returns. Oh, this is
That's a horrible fight suddenly.
this is really bad. That was about the worst possible way that could have gone.
Indeed. Indeed.
Oh my god. Not even in a million years those returns would have lost the battle if they had stuck to the wood line and Mike Road. But...
And that's why you always patrol your army.
No. Eesh. It's painful to watch.
I would like to see just Greg here transitioning a bit now. You lost most of your army here, right? Get castles up defensively, get your eco back up here. Then just go for halberdiers as well. You can see that all the army that Otto is making here is Hussar. It's floating almost 1500 food at the moment and 2.6k gold.
And again, though, even if Otto loses his hussars, I mean they're not really matter to him. He's got 130 villager eco right now, which is 35 villagers more than Fac, so he can afford to spam. What he's trying to do right now is whittle down Greg's villager number, and he's doing that really well.
I would like to see Trebs probably for the castle from Otto now and Trebs out, just to start pushing properly.
Yeah.
You see just adding in a few more stables here.
Yeah. And Greg's lack of a melee unit here is problematic. It was problematic when Otto first pushed him, and now it's getting even worse. He really needs to start adding in halberdiers. It's not really. It's hard to understand why he hasn't done that yet.
They need something more at least, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean no melee units.
This one is just a slow death from Hussar raid probably, and I would hope so just later on siege. Trebuchets are actually now being produced from Otto in his forward castle, in the castle in front of his own base.
Fac not making pikemen, not making halberdiers. He's even building 2 additional siege workshops. I don't think that's play here. I think the play is to secure your base with some form of melee unit so the rams don't do as much damage. Battering down the rams now with villagers again. I mean, the clear answer here is to add halberdiers, to add some form of melee.
I agree with you there. Now it's back in a quite good ball of rat archers, and I have a good production on them. But just...
Again, he's going ram ratans. Okay, it's a pretty good strategy in and of itself, but not if Otto's going mass light cav. It's not gonna, even if Greg manages to kill the light cav, he's not gonna trade well. Still trading the gold unit versus a food unit, and guess what? Otto has nearly 60 villagers on food, so he doesn't mind. He doesn't mind throwing it away.
Still, if you look at the eco of Otto, right? His wood are soon gonna run out. He has some idle villages where his, I think it was his first stone was. And he could use to clean it up, and also being very housed and having very little army at this point. If you look at the army count, you have 70 army against 10 army.
But at the same time, his eco is much larger, and he does have more gold, and he can afford to have more gold, because he's just thinking, well, I'm just going to make a lot of hussars here. It's going to take a while for Greg to realize that he needs to add in halberdiers, it looks like, because he's going... How many rams is that? 8 rams?
At this point, I think you can actually push with those 8 rams there. There isn't anything that can really stop this push from Otto. Even the castle fire, let's say you use the castle against the Rattans here. Well, the Hussar are coming in. He needs to actually fight here, Greg. He can easily one-shot every single one of those Hussar. Mark forward, mark forward.
Lost all his rams there against Hussars. Otto again, this is costing Otto nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's just a trash unit. Meanwhile, Greg is losing valuable gold units. It's not looking good.
But at least he now has Trevs out, so...
Yeah, but lost a castle. And
That's
again,
good.
wasting more rams in the front there.
It just feels like he's a bit overwhelmed at this point.
Yeah,
Trev
must
will
be.
move down, and I think he will also lose the castle probably. Which will probably give back access to gold to Greg pretty soon.
Again, I can't understand why Greg is not mixed in some Halberdiers here. That would have been great.
He would at least made this a lot easier for him.
Yeah.
So once again, army production is still just a bit lacking from Otto in this case.
Yeah. Although interestingly, Otto is going for elephant archers. Oh, okay, no, he's just garrisoning in his side. His castle out. So
That would have been style
kind of
points though.
questioning that move. I would win style point for sure.
Wait. Otto has been adding archers. I think that has to be a misclick, right?
Yeah, that was probably.
Because he has fully upgraded archers actually, that's interesting. I think that probably will be skirmishers coming out from the Indian player here.
I still don't understand. Greg does have the food go, and the woody go make some halberdiers at least. Even if you can counter hussars with the Showmatch, it's still not as efficient to do it. I mean, look at that. Like the hussars are going to snipe those rams again. Even if they have like 50 return archers shooting at them, they're still going to clear those rams. So Greg again losing his rams, losing his siege. Then targeting the traps, he's going to lose those traps as well if he's not careful.
We actually do see the +2 defense coming in from cavalry from Greg at this point. I think he's actually thinking about adding in Hussar on his own, or Light Cav actually.
Hussars? Oh my god, what's wrong with all of you? Okay, anyway. Otto now going for skirms as well though. Good.
But skirms don't actually do that well against Rattles, right?
No, exactly, yeah.
It will be interesting to see just how this works out. Once again, now we do actually have Greg here being pop capped while Otto is struggling at 160 pop, with only 20 of those being army.
Yeah, exactly. Otto still has a much larger ego, which of course you do need if you're gonna go for the crash.
The thing about having a strong eco like this, right? If you can't produce enough, it's not gonna matter.
Exactly. Otto needs to add in more stables, more everything really. And also he's spawning his cavalry right into open arrow fire. I don't think that's good. Again, Knutan, imagine if Fac had added halberdiers or pikemen. The game would have been over super fast.
Agreed.
Okay, it's I don't understand why he didn't do that. It's the cheapest, best option. He wasted, I think he produced over 40 rams and lost most of them. Because he doesn't have a good melee unit to guard the rams.
Still, he has one trip now, firing at the castle now. Also some... Actually, I see... Yeah, I guess you got a relic here. Not sure where the others are. Where are the relics, actually?
Otto has 78 soldiers on food now. So it looks like, and 60 on wood. He's really committing to spamming Greg with trash, it looks like, but I don't think it's working.
At this point I think he just needs something else.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly what I would do in this case even. Maybe even honor shares I think actually.
Greg adding in light cav though to attack his firms. And melee unit.
I think probably just going honor shares here are probably the best thing Otto can do, just to clean up their ratness. You know, gold are will soon be fully out here, right? Only one gold at the top.
Otto's not going for that. Otto's making more stables in his base, so he still thinks that he can just outproduce Greg with a lot of customers. But again, he's sending in the hussars one by one. I mean, yeah. I don't know about that.
Down to one last castle at this point.
No. He's gonna call it pretty soon.
I think so as well.
Yeah.
This will be the equalizer then.
Yeah, interesting comeback.
Agreed. Just look at how
Again,
idle a lot of his army are actually here.
Again, if we're being honest, Knutan, I mean, Fac does have a massive civ advantage, I would say, in a 1v1 Vietnamese versus Indians. So it would have been hard for Otto to win, regardless. But if he would have won, he would have probably done it in early cast play. It's like he won last game very early on.
But I do think Otto has his chances here, right? He just needs to be a bit more aggressive, I think. He probably just immediately when he deal with the forward rusher, right? Just go to Greg's base there and see if he can do something.
And he is doing that now, though. He's adding in stables at the at Greg's base right there. I think that'll be a little bit too late to actually do much damage.
That looks like a Rex move to me, yeah. But let's see. He still has a very strong eco behind it. I do wish that Greg would just expand a bit forward at this point. Make more buildings in the middle. Take control.
Yeah. Greg is pushing, but he's pushing very slowly. So maybe that does give Otto enough time to raid him to death. Because if you look at the vill numbers, there's about a 60 vill difference here between the two players. So that's a lot.
That's also a bit of an overboom coming from Otto, right?
Yes.
150 villages are... Well, it's not top cap, so I guess you can't really say that either, but...
I don't know if it's an overroom, you know, because he's not really he's not microing his light cap at all. He's just spamming them mindlessly into Fac's eco. It's working. I mean, Fac is down another 10 villagers, another 12, 13, 14 villagers. The difference, Greg now has only half the villagers Otto, which is a huge difference. So Otto is really playing this war of attrition here. He's really trying to bait him to death and then try and delay Greg's push to the front of his base for as long as possible. And Greg is Greg going back to his base to clean it up?
Greg is moving back to clean it up, yeah, that will give
the
all the time to Otto.
Yeah, I don't think that's the play. He should have gone on and pushed. No, that's exactly what Otto wants. Otto wants to lead him away from his base so he can just continue to spam.
And I would say that Adultery is probably Otto's again.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting how the game is swung the other way around. Now again, though, I mean, Greg does have better late game options, but if you're not making halberdiers and you're counting on slow rattan archers moving in your base, trying to clear out light cav, counting on the passes to clear out light cav. But if you just had, I don't know, 10 to 20 halberdiers patrolling around his base, just imagine how good that would have been. Been able to stop the raids. Yeah.
He does have quite a few castles up, right? But because he just run in with the hussar. If he loses, let's say, 20 hussar to the castles, he doesn't mind that at all. And the population are just going down, down, and further down. Down to 120 now.
Yeah. And just to illustrate the main problem Fac's been having all game, I mean, he had a large train of rams there that he transported from one side of his base to the other side, and he lost one ram and possibly even two rams. The second ram was very low HP. Again, because he didn't have any melee units protecting the rams. They just 3 hussars already killed one ram. I mean,
yeah.
It's just cleaning that up, though.
He would be cleaning it up, but now again, you can see that four villagers coming in forward, building more buildings from Otto, right?
True.
Otto is expanding so much better at this point.
Exactly, and when we compare the build difference, Fac is on 40 villagers, and Otto is on 143 villagers, so Otto is up more than 100 villagers here.
At last, yes. Also the military count is actually even out as well. It's another big thing. And even though the Rattlers do well against skirmishers, at least in these numbers they can't really fight.
Exactly. And, you know, we hate to say it, but Otto's strategy of just waiting to death, it really worked here.
Yeah.
Virtually has no eco lift, so.
Just like, instead of him, I think Greg had just pushed way too slowly. If you just look at how exposed eco from Otto are at this point.
Yeah.
Nothing really protecting him at all.
No.
Just
But, you know, that's what you get, you know, when you try and go into a army that's composed solely out of siege rams and rattan archers, both two very slow units. The point is not that Greg doesn't have enough army. He does, but again, it's all concentrated in one big ball of rattans. And he pushed with those rattans, and then he returned those rattans to his base to defend with those rattans, and he just has one army, and he's using that single army all game long. Whereas Otto is just
wait, all relics have been captured. I don't know,
is he
2
going
relics
for
on
the
this map.
relic? Oh, there it is. Yeah. Is Greg going for the relic? Oh, I think he is. I think he's going to camp all his rattan archers near the monastery.
That will be interesting.
This could actually be good. I don't think Otto can clear that. I don't think Otto can clear such a large ball of rattan archers in time though. I don't think he can do it. Without an onager, I don't think he can do it.
Well,
Otto has no
there's no eco at all anymore. Yeah, 36 villagers, right?
Yeah, but Otto has no siege workshop. He's got no onager. How is he able to, how is he going to clear that? Is he going to clear the monastery in time? If he makes bombard cannons, he's going to get sniped by the rattan. If he makes onagers, he'll need a large mass.
Oh, it's nothing with the 1 or 2 good shots there. I was saying, I've seen going over now with 20 more skirms.
I can micro that really well though. So again, I don't think. Oh, this is the play. Stack's making imp skirms as well now. That's his goal now. He's just gonna try and hold on to that relic victory. This is fantastic. It's absolutely amazing. No, he's using his rattans to guard the monastery. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Also now actually cleaning
What do you
up
think Otto should do here?
I'm wondering about that myself. So I'm wondering if he even knew it was a possibility.
I mean, Otto has roughly 60% of the map. He has a vastly superior economy. He has more than 100 villages more than Greg does. You know, so he's got numbers. But he doesn't have enough to clear out all those returns though. I mean, he's gonna send in like what? Like out there, he's just gonna get eaten up by that large ball of returns.
We'll just see him just going for a big mass. Let's send like 80 or 90 military here for Otto. Just cleaning up everything in one go. I think it should be possible.
Should be possible, but is Otto going to do that? Is Otto going to keep his cool and do that? Also, Greg, oh my god.
We already see that he's losing a lot of population at this point, right?
True.
Greg is down 30 military just in the last minutes or so.
Why no halberdiers though? Can someone explain this to me? Why no halberdiers? I could have done so much for him. He would have won this game so easily if he had halberdiers.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't get over this. I mean, Otto is going with a strategy that basically should never have worked, for being honest, but it's working.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Greg's only option now is to go for relic victory. I mean, he's holding on, but I don't think he's got resources to be able to create army forever, so got a very small eco.
Yeah,
also,
now Otto also has a military lead actually. For the first time in this game almost, Otto has a military lead.
I think Greg should probably have built that monastery closer to his castle if he's going to go for the relic victory, but I think he might have been
don't actually think he was even thinking about the relic victory.
Yeah, I think he was surprised as well to see that the banner going up.
Yeah. And,
again though,
it feels like it's just too long left. It's only 33 army just running that at the moment. Production isn't the best either.
But again though, if he moves those relics to under a castle and fights there, he could make it.
Well, if you move the relics there, the counter drops back to full rights.
Right. Exactly.
So that's not really an option.
No. It's almost halfway there, but it's gonna be long. If he, oh no, Otto's going with the Rams now. No, or the bombard cannons. I don't know. Is he going what?
Bomber cannons coming out.
No, then it's over. It's over.
Agreed.
This game had a lot of interesting turns, I must say.
Yeah, it was interesting, that's for
It
sure.
was a very interesting game, yes. It was very unpredictable. But we gotta applaud Otto though. He had a pretty substantial civ disadvantage, I think we can say that, and he went with strategy of just spamming to death, and that should have probably never worked. But Greg made a huge mistake, not going halberdiers, not going any melee units, clear out the light cab, just trading bad, trading poorly versus light cab the entire game. Mm,
Also, for example, when he didn't patrol in the middle here, right? When he first went forward with the Rattans and just lost every single one of them. That's
yeah,
also a really big swing in that case. And now the bomber counts are out. Monsters are down to
and
less than a half HP at this point.
yeah. And also, you know, even if
And the
Greg's
relics
moved
will be
out as
expelled now.
Rattan, but yeah, also Rattan archers are just so slow. You can't, yeah.
GG is
There we go, and
called.
he realizes it. I'm just gonna quickly restart my computer because it's running a little bit laggy. So I'll be right back.
Sure. So I guess it'd be up to me to just talk us through this game. Otto then first going for scouts after and cleaning the rush from Greg here. Then Greg is gonna be full walled. Doesn't really make any army except for spears until he gets up. Goes on the stone, creates a castle. We then have a mostly stalemate affair until Imperial Age when we Otto just gets the big advantage when it comes to villager numbers in the Imperial, and Greg just having a big mass of Rattans, but not managing to push properly. Pushing so slowly that the Otto can just constantly just produce with his better eco behind it. Then at the end they just raid him to death. It's really interesting just how this actually worked out. So military score, oh, that's a big difference actually. 887 units killed and 518 lost. Just well, basically just says how this game actually went. Better and stronger units for Greg in this case, but just way worse with mobility. And AutoK just having to use his trash to just completely take map control at the end there. Then just managing to just whittle down the numbers from Greg at this point, and then just getting a big enough advantage that he wins. You can also just see how big a difference this is when it comes to resources. Otto with over triple the, well, almost triple the food collected, more wood, and half the gold. Once again, I'm gonna talk about uptimes, because there's something wrong with the Dark Age here, in my opinion. They Otto went for scouts, right? This is 22 pop-up time. I think he tried to do 20 or 21, but I think he just mismacroed a bit there. And Greg's time here is very slow, I would say, unless he's going for something like a Drush Fast Castle. I think was very possible on this map, considering just how much food you actually had around your PC. So I think just planning here needs to be a bit more worked on. As you can see on these numbers, none of them were actually pop capped for most of the game, right? This is the only part where both of them were over 160 pop each. It's kind of interesting, just seeing just how low the numbers of army for Otto. But Greg never managed to actually snowball it out of control, and the win came to Otto, giving him the 2-0. Just gonna see if they are live. Not yet, apparently. Still waiting for Otto. It's good, that gives me time to check if, yeah, there's anything interesting going on in chat. Not me too much. Ribben side no also helps, yeah. He's been talking a lot about those, but I think he was correct in this case. Just lacking the helps in this case. Well, just going, let's say 20 Halberdiers would have won the game for sure. Otto never had the army to compete with that as well. So Game 3 is not started. Game 3 is gonna be Franks versus Berbers. Once again, these games, these thieves were just random. They used the Wheel of Luck to figure out which thieves will be played when. This is actually a quite interesting matchup even. Frank's probably having the easier build, I would say, but Berbers also a cheaper army in Castle Age. Also having the ability to go for Canvas can really decide the game here, but I would say that Frank's a bit more streamlined. It's gonna be exciting to see how this will turn out. Any questions from chat or? Not that I have too many viewers from what I can see. Still waiting, I guess. Oh. So I guess they're just taking a break here. I'm not sure if Rick needs a little bit of time to
Okay, I'm back.
get back.
So
Yeah.
yes.
Nice to have you back. Yeah, we're still waiting on them to start the next one.
Okay. Good.
So.
Good. Yes.
What do you think about the thieves there? We got Franks for Greg and Berbers for Otto.
Oh, is the game started now?
It's not started yet, but I know the thieves already. But I can see
Okay.
that
So Franks versus Berbers. Well, I mean, I think the Berbers here had a pretty huge advantage, given that they have heavy camels, no, that
game
are
has started now.
discounted as well.
Game has now started.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that they can be able to compete in some ways, but I really actually like just having how straightforward playing Franks are. Just having the good eco, having the free meal upgrades also just helps in the early game eco. It will be exciting
True,
to see
but
how that works.
they still don't trade favorably versus camels though, and Otto has cheap camels that are good. So I don't know.
I think I would probably prefer playing Berbers in a 1v1, but in a team I would probably prefer playing
Oh yeah,
Franks.
for sure. I think that is yeah, it goes without saying that Franks is an excellent team game save.
I actually do think that this map is quite similar to Arabia, from what I can see. Start with 5 deer, I can see. I think it's gonna be 6 cows from each player and 2 boars.
It looks like the land. No, yeah, no, it does look like Arabia more.
Ah! Otto coming from a laming actually, so taking a boar at the moment.
Oh.
As at this moment taking 2 hits only. Might even actually pick up the 2 of the cows in a way, but I'm not sure if even Greg actually scouted this. I don't think even Greg scouted that he was being lamed. That should be a quite free lane coming from Otto. Hurting his eco a little bit, I would say, but not too badly. Not actually. It's gonna be negligible, I guess. That boar is now coming in, shooting it with his TC, and a perfect bowler from Otto this time. Even trapping into villages inside of this arm camp. That's a good start from him. If he at least notices that they are idle. He did. Fair play to Otto.
Yeah, I mean, laming that boar was huge, but at the same time, Otto does have 2 boars still on left side, and he's reeling in 1, but Greg could theoretically lame him back. I think he's gonna do it, but
Greg is still scouting the back of his base, right? I don't really see that on the cards at the moment. And even still is Mega Random, so he doesn't even know that he might be lamed, right? The last game we only had a single boar, so might not be bringing his next boar. He has actually found all of his cows at this moment. So I think the big difference from this map is that you have extra cows, so that means a bit extra food, and I would say that you have one deer more and a bit more gold. I think that's the big differences. A little bit less stone compared to regular Arabia. Aside from that, woodlands and everything else looks fairly similar. I think there's actually a fair bit of relics on this map though, so that's 5, 6, 7. I think there's 8 relics on this map. That's there is something good to go for, I guess, later on. I don't know that Otto is actually taking the cow at the same time as they're taking the boars. There's very little reason to do that.
I mean, I hate to say it, but Otto's already at a pretty big advantage here, having had three boars. Greg going out to hunt deer now with a mill, but exposing his bills in doing so. I mean, doesn't look good for him. He's not taking the best start. Also, Otto is quite close to clicking up.
Also, just sending a low HP villager out to build a deer is not really a good thing.
No, exactly. No, plus also Otto does have this advantage.
But so, Otto is still missing his cows though, and 2 of them are now got lamed by Greg.
Although I'd rather have 1 boar than 2 cows.
Food-wise it doesn't really matter that much, but it's just efficiency-wise, so...
Exactly, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's 7 villagers out on the deer now. I'm stupid, you don't have berries. Forgot that.
Otto going... Oh no. Greg already going for the wall. Whereas Otto is still pretty open. It doesn't look like... Yeah. I think Otto knows he's clicked up faster to feudal age, and I think he's confident. He's just going to go stable and going to create scouts and probably not even going to bother walling all too much.
Ooh, Otto, big brave enough to lame farm here.
Yeah.
You know, the low HP scouts.
Oh, he might even snipe those 2 cows there. That
I think it's just out of range.
Too bad. That would have been really good. No, I think, you know, the way that Otto is not walling his base at all makes me believe that Otto is very confident in his abilities right now, and he's just going to go for the win. I think he's going to... He's reaching feudal age just about now. Going to go drop a stable, probably go for scouts right away.
And he's housed.
Yeah, and he's housed right away. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's concerned. He knows he's at an advantage. Interesting though, he's going for a wheelbarrow, double bit axe, and horse collar.
Don't like that at all. He doesn't have the ego to produce army now.
No. I mean, he's got 0 villagers on food, so I don't really know how he's gonna...
He needs to drop a lot of farms now immediately, and he needs to probably send some forward to grab.
I mean, he has the wood. He has the wood for it. He's not dropping the farms just yet, though. I don't really understand why not.
He's dropping them now at least, but yeah.
It's a bit too late.
He's gonna have idle time both on his TC and on his stable.
I don't understand why he went wheelbarrow plus double bit axe plus horse collar if he intended to go scouts right away. I don't think that's a very good thing.
At this point, I think you just checking and seeing what Greg is doing, maybe and just going for a full eco approach. It's already gone off the deer at the moment, so.
True.
I don't really see what Greg is doing here at the moment either. No military building and just this is gonna be just booming in the fast castle. I'm not sure. He doesn't have the eco to go with fast castle either.
No. Also, his base is compared to Greg's base. Otto's base is wide open, so he's very vulnerable to raids. But and Greg now making a barracks.
Yeah.
But if Greg wants to go scouts now, that's way too late. Is he still gonna go scouts?
Well, Otto is having his scouts at least, but...
Oh no, he's not. He just made a barracks, so maybe he's just gonna stick to defensive spearmen.
Otto is once again being heavily housed.
Yeah. Interesting approach here. Very interesting approach by Fac.
Well, I'm gonna say what I think. I think it's the bad approach from both of them at the moment.
Yeah, no, for real. I don't think they play any of them played it really well as of yet. But Greg just looks like he's gonna go for a greedy boom here. I hope he's discovered the create spearman button there in his barracks. Oh, he has. It's confirmed. He knows how to make spearman now. He's caught up in between the two games.
There was actually a hole in the wall for Greg here at the top.
Yeah.
He just plugged it now, so...
Yeah. He's just, yeah, he's gonna go for the greedy boom. And, yeah, Otto, I think Otto knows this. I mean, Otto's not even trying to wall up. He just knows that Greg is gonna try the same thing. Last game as well, he went for the greedy boom.
Well, actually, in all of the games he went quite defensive, I would say. Even in the first game he was so late up, and I think it really hurts him in these cases usually. This case I think is fine just because Otto well, messed up his build a bit there. Also, just not scouting the front of his base and finding the cows there also really hurts him. And Otto now actually going for the third lumber camp. Blacksmith coming up from Greg, but I don't see much army coming out from him at the moment. Otto not yet on gold. It's gonna be blacksmith market even from Greg in this game. It doesn't really have the food eco at this point, so it must feel bad for him to be playing Franks and not having berries.
Exactly. And Otto also much closer to clicking up. So it looks like Otto is again going to go up faster than Greg, which is hard to understand given how Greg has basically built no army and has gone with very defensive play here.
Well, Otto didn't make much army either, right? Otto only made one extra scout here.
True. But I'm just saying it's hard to understand. If you're gonna go for a very defensive approach here, I think you need to go up faster.
Also, Otto now adding in more scouts because he doesn't was too late on the gold. Just take 4 villagers off one lumber camp, send them all to gold, and then just click up. Now he's also idling his...
Yeah, Greg is gonna click up now. He's reeling in all his villagers, all his food villagers, and he's gonna click now.
Yeah, and he's actually earlier than Otto this time.
But
Otto
even
is
if he
also
does
being housed.
Even if he does reach castle age faster, though, the question is, what is he going to do exactly? Because Otto does have 2 stables. Otto can go camels. Otto's starting to wall up his base now. I don't know. I don't know what the play is here. If I'm really honest. I don't know how you can counter Berbers as Franks, because again, though, Otto has 15% cheaper camels that are fully upgraded. That as well, additional to that, he can get the castle tech, which means they regenerate, which in Imperial Age can matter a whole lot. So I don't know.
Well, the region does not really matter usually. So.
Well, I mean, if gold is scarce on a map where gold is scarce, that could really matter a lot, though. But again, I mean,
gold is not scarce on this map at least. So.
No, true. Good point.
Yeah, quite a lot of gold scattered around actually.
Greg adding in 2 stables now. 3 stables total.
Even.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the
eco
for
that. He's gonna go
with
the knights? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he doesn't have the food eco for it. He does have the gold eco. Well, no, he doesn't really. Well, maybe. Oh, he's pulling off all his villagers from wood and putting them on gold and food.
This is an all-in play actually, if you look at it from that angle.
Looks like it.
I don't think you can ever add TCs at this point. He's still only producing from just now triple stable. Otto is actually adding in scouts still. I don't like that.
No. Otto also noticeably later to castle age.
Yeah, just going just way too late onto gold was the case there. Otto still being completely open. You see +1/+1 at the moment from Greg. Gold mining coming in now. I'm gonna take a look at his resources, right? Yeah, he's gonna can't really produce, I think, from triple, probably double stable production for most of the time, I think.
Mm.
I need to back this a bit better as well. If you look at the gold from Greg, he's got 9 villages taking a single pile, I think. Which is not
I mean,
ideal.
he's stuck in a small base, and that's the strategy. Also, he only has 1 villager on wood right now, so as soon as those farms run out, he's gonna have a huge problem. And he's not trading that well versus all those scouts, and Otto now has camels out, so I think this is pretty much the game.
I think he just needs to mass up a big army here, get upgrades on them.
Yeah, but Otto is massing as well, and the difference is that Otto does have the eco to sustain camel production from 2 stables. And yeah, now he's just massing more and more camels, and yeah, that's the start of the end for Greg there, I think. I just don't think he's going to be able to trade effectively.
Well, I think we might probably see a full-on 1 TC push coming in from Grey at this moment. I think it's the right decision at this point. Getting +2 now, with triple stable production.
True. Meanwhile, Otto did opt to put down a second TC on stone, so I think he's going to try and drop a castle to secure his base, which is a good idea.
But Otto, I think, is actually going for knights.
Yeah, he is adding in knights. Should probably add a little bit more camels though, I feel. Because you know, in a straight fight, of course, the flank knights are pretty strong.
It's equal, so.
Oh, it's equal now, yeah, right. Actually, Greg has an extra armor tech now.
Yeah, +2 also coming in from Otto at this point.
Plus
this
a lot
army
of spearmen though.
Otto can't take this fight. Oh, it's just running away.
No.
Otto did get husbandry already, so.
Yeah, especially because Greg, as opposed to the last game, is now adding in spearmen, which is really good. Just needs to upgrade him to pikemen.
But Greg needs to kill soon, I think, because you should see more camel production is now starting up again.
True.
I would like to see a monster here actually forward, just to heal up his own units and just getting map control with it.
Yeah.
Third stable coming up now from Otto.
Yeah, Otto is anticipating the fact that Greg is taking out his stables.
Just used the pikeman upgrade coming in from Greg as well.
Yeah. Otto is microing well though. Otto knows what he's doing. Otto knows he can't take a fight, straight up fight. So he's Otto is just buying time. He's got enough stone for a castle now. Maybe he's just waiting to drop that castle to slow Greg's push, and then try and ride the wave to Imperial Age, get the stronger heavy camels out.
Also already up to triple the barracks, right? I mean triple TC, I mean. The equals is just gonna be that much stronger.
Greg did get pikeman upgrade though. I do agree with that move. Very good.
I think numbers are still in favor of Greg here, but being close enough, I think that it probably should be able to hold.
Otto is trading very well though versus the knights with the camels. This is where the Berber strength comes in, of course. I mean, that is not a good fight for those knights to take. The only reason that Greg is trading well right now is because he has pikemen. But you know, in a straight one-on-one fight against camels, he's just losing.
Yeah.
And this is the start of the end. As I said, you know, as soon as Otto had that first camel out, that basically disables Greg's option to go into capital. So the question is, what he's going to do now?
Now with the castles up, it's triple TC versus... Maybe gonna be a fourth TC added from Otto at this point.
Yeah.
And it's still...
Although we do know that Greg is a person that likes to look at the score and make conclusions based on the score. So maybe Greg, who has a higher score right now, thinks he's still in a pretty good spot. I don't know.
I'm wondering about that as well. I don't actually understand exactly why the score is so even at this point.
Yeah, I don't understand because in my opinion, or the way I feel it, Otto has been trading much better all game. But I do really like the fact
Greg
that
has
Greg
a-
is making Spearman now. Pikeman. Yes?
Well, Greg has a bit better scouting, I would say, and probably a slightly better KD as well, and so I
Yeah.
guess that's the difference. But
True, but Otto again already up nearly 10 villagers on Greg. So better eco again.
also just having the castle to protect so much, right? Because now
Yeah.
he basically needs to attack into either TC or a castle if he's going to be attacking. So he's coming towards the right TC from Otto now. +2/+2. Even got +1 armor on this pikeman. And Otto is not noticing at the moment. Well, now it's garrisoning.
Oof. How many vills is he gonna lose though?
Probably quite a few actually.
Well, yeah, but he's still up, 12, 13 vills. All in all, and his camels have arrived, but Otto stopped producing camels.
Adding inflation even, so he gets a bit better there. Smart move actually be just walling in those now. I think it's a bit lacking the production from them often, right? Greg is now floating 600, almost 700 food at the moment, and soon to be 400 gold with no production. And Otto is also not producing anything at the moment. But now if they just queued up some camels. Just a bit of eco balance not being the best.
Yeah.
And now camel archer is also being produced from Otto.
To counter the pikeman edition. Good idea.
King also coming in, so now he can't even take the fight under the TSCs anymore.
No. Interesting.
This is probably gonna be the end, I guess.
Yeah, the difference, of course, between Fac and Otto is that Fac is going to click Imp in just a second. Or can click Imp in just a second, and Otto is still pretty far away from that.
Otto actually has so bad scouting that he doesn't even see a single relic.
No. Is this going to go to a fourth game, you think?
It really depends on just how Otto plays it, because Otto will get a very good advantage here.
True.
But there is a big advantage in the army at the moment.
True. And let's not forget last game that we thought that Greg had things sorted out as well, and then he managed to lose anyway, so
yeah.
Don't know.
The big thing about this level, people throw games a lot more than on the higher levels.
For
It
sure,
still happens,
for
of
sure.
course, but a bit more often.
For
But
sure.
if Otto ever managed to clean up all the army, I think it might be GG.
The only question is how he's going to deal with those pikemen now that Greg is producing a lot of. He's got 12 pikemen in his base. So this time he knows what he did, the mistake he made last game, and he's got +2 pikemen in his base, so...
Adding in another barracks now.
Yeah, and Franks do get fully upgraded infantry, so if it comes to late game, fully upgraded Frank halberdiers mixed in with some raiding could be good.
Yeah, it could be good, yeah. Just doesn't have that much eco behind it, right? It has 64 villages only.
True. And
But he's
Otto's
gonna struggle with
population
getting...
again...
Yeah.
True. Otto's population is again ballooning. He's on 91 villagers, which is roughly 25 villagers more than Greg.
Also, just think about it, like, Greg has army out, but if he's gonna get upgrades on him, he needs to get armor on both cavalry as well as the infantry. He needs to get cavalry, he needs to get halberdiers upgrade. He doesn't have eco for that at the moment. It's 600 gold, I think it is for halberdiers, and it's 300 gold for just for getting the cavalier upgrade. You see that it's down to 170 gold this moment. I think he needs to work with the army he has at the moment.
I do think the combo of rams, pikes, and knights is a very good idea from Greg.
He doesn't have eco for that yet. He doesn't have eco for too much more. He
No,
needs to finish the game with his army.
true. But it is a good composition though to fight what Otto's making. I
Yeah.
mean the knights are good, and the camel archers, and then the pikes are good to clean up the camels. But it all depends on the micro now. Everything is going to depend on the micro. Also, Greg does have a lot of weak knights in his army. Meanwhile, Otto has an entire army of camels that are full health. So, but Greg is a cavalier now, and Otto's still on camels. So a lot of factors come into play here, Knutan. It's hard to tell what this fight is going to look like.
Oh. Otto is actually getting Kaspa. That surprises me.
Oh yeah.
That's the faster cost production, right?
Yeah, it's going into camel archers. It looks like.
It's
Oh,
not...
that's gonna. Greg's aggression there is gonna hit his face like a freight train. I feel.
Well,
It's gonna take him a while for his army to clean that up.
I would really love it if they managed to... Well, he's just going for TC.
Oh, actually, maybe Otto rises in time. He does.
If TC will go
And they're
down,
gonna go
but
for the
he
fight
will
now.
lose, let's
They're
say,
gonna go
something
for the
like...
fight. Oh, Otto's gonna lose a lot of camels here though, fighting the Viking. I don't know if
Also,
that's a good fight.
it's an extremely slow upgrade for heavy camel.
Yeah. Plus also, that TC that he was desperately trying to save by throwing away his entire army there, it only had one builder in it, so it wasn't worth it.
This was a terrible fight for Otto.
Yeah, he should have probably just waited, mass a little bit more, and then just let that TC die, and then try and protect the next TC. Because the camel archers is a good idea here. I don't think anyone can deny that, but
I
mean,
actually think that the fight might have been terrible, but it still might have been good enough.
yeah,
Because the Cavaliers are gonna die pretty soon. Even just regular camel archers, they still have 9 damage outputs.
yeah. And the camels, again, the camels do really well.
Now heavy camels are having
Heavy camels now, so that means that Greg needs to switch. I don't think Greg can keep on playing with cavalry now. There's heavy camel on the field. I think that's a very bad trade. The only question is though that how is Otto going to trade against? Oh, actually, no,
That's
never
a brave
mind.
castle.
Yeah. Also, never mind. I thought that Greg was gonna do the logical step and add in more barracks to spam in more halberdiers, but he's actually committing to stables now. So I don't know if that's a play here.
Well, it's not really that weird, right? Because Otto will probably transition enough into camel archers that Cavaliers probably won't do too much. And the second castle going up. Well, Greg is now raiding at the sides of Otto's base.
Greg is serving Otto his own dish.
Indeed, indeed. And the village numbers are actually starting to get very close now. This could be very interesting, but...
Yeah, Otto is on a very low pop for his style of play, I must say.
And also just missing a lot of upgrades on his units.
Yeah.
He has 0 imp upgrades except for a heavy camel at this point.
Yeah. He just doesn't have the eco. Meanwhile, Greg's base is tiny, but it's all cozy and walled up and hard to raid. There's a gap in his wall, but let's not think about that.
So Otto now has 2 castles up. Let's say he forces up a last one in his main base, which he probably should be doing. Where's actually Otto on gold? Well, it's on the one TC. That's getting raided. Not having, he's getting Eraser now at least, so...
Can't say I fully understand Otto's strategy here, attacking a stable while his base is getting raided by Cavaliers. Losing precious build time. You should probably just pull back some camels to clean up those Cavaliers.
Probably panicking a bit there, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
I also think that the camel archers are not really going to be countered anytime soon. Greg will have some army out, but he doesn't really have... He has an advantage now, but military numbers are about equal. And he is finally ahead actually in the village accounts for once, but... Yeah, I'm not sure actually. I think I would prefer Otto's position just because of having the castles up now.
Hmm.
But he needs to make use of it, I would say.
I mean, it's very uncharacteristic for Otto to get raided like this and not raid himself, I must say. And he's not, yeah, he's clearly panicking because, for example, 2 of his TCs are still fully garrisoned. 3 of his TCs, actually.
Where is... He then did actually for on Silence and Camels back at least, so that's good.
Hmm.
He's back up to triple introducing more camel archers at this point. And I just don't see the counter for those. I think he just needs to keep on raiding. I think those are good enough numbers for Greg to take the fight at the top. Should be easy clear up for Greg there, yeah. It's way too low
I
HP
don't
on
understand,
those.
yeah. Why is Otto why is Otto's army attacking stables?
Otto's ego is so weak at this point. Just send stuff underneath your castles, or even build your castles right next to your eco, not in between like he's done now. Those castles doesn't really do that much, right?
No. I mean, his base is way too spread out for those castles to have effect, you know. He
Oh, that
did
might be a
not make...
doubt DC at the far right.
Yeah. God, again though, what did it say? He has a pretty good mass of camel archers that are attacking a house in south of the base there. What's the idea behind that? I just don't understand.
Yeah. 26 camel archers, that's basically enough to clean everything if Michael will.
No.
Once again, Otto's being raided. He's down to 43 villagers at this point.
And Greg is still cruising on a stable 75 villagers. His base has practically never been raided before, so... I do really like the fact that he's gone pikeman this game. It's such an easy and cheap solution to a lot of your cavalry problems. I feel like... but Otto is just gone full panic.
Yeah, this is just full panic.
Yeah, three out of 4 TCs are fully garrisoned. He's not thinking straight anymore. Yeah, I think this is I think we can call this game.
I think it's too early still. If only because Greg needs to push somehow, right? I think that's gonna take some time. You can raid as much as you want, but he just doesn't have the eco, something to push down castles with.
He's finally going to use his camels to try and clean up the cavalry there. God.
I think Greg needs to make more eco at this point. Add more TCs, take map control.
Yeah.
Grab the relics as you do see them at this point.
Yeah, having had the relics would have been huge though. If they had had like 3 or 4 relics, then that would have been huge. And the camel archers do pretty well though against both cavalier and pikemen. That's with Ramsden.
That's even still missing elite camel archer and missing chemistry at this point.
Oh wow! So they do really well.
Fully upgraded, they have 12 attacks, so 8 plus 4. It's the same as Mangalai. They are probably one of the strongest units in the game.
Yeah, I wonder, what are the attack bonuses again? Did they get an attack bonus for Cav Archer? Is that it?
Yeah.
Alright, Cav Archer.
But if you compare it to Mangalai, they have more frame delay, so they aren't really... They aren't that great versus other units.
Yeah, they're also slower, right?
I think they're about the same speed, maybe a bit slower, not too sure. Oh, that's an AI army if I ever see one.
I mean, I mean, Otto is in a good position with his camels though, and Otto surprisingly has boomed back to 70 villagers. He's only 13 villagers behind now, whereas he was 35 villagers behind Greg only a couple of minutes ago. So again, Otto knows how to reboom, for sure. The only question is, how is he going to deal with those rounds?
As long as he gets the time for it, right? That's the big thing
Yeah.
here. Otto is being given the time that he needs to just move back into the game now.
Yeah. Is Greg gonna throw this?
Might very well happen.
Because Greg was in such a great position a couple of minutes ago, and now it looks like Otto's rebounded.
Would like to see Otto just expanding to both sides a bit more though.
Yeah. How is Greg, the question is, how is Greg ever going to clean up that large ball of camel archers? He's only lost, I think, 2 or 3 camel archers in cleaning up the entirety of Greg's army there.
Now Greg's army has mostly been cleaned up at the front, and now the camel archers can clean up the rest there.
Oh my god, is Greg going to throw this? This is going to happen?
Population is now equal again.
Oh
Otto is a little bit behind when it comes to villagers now, but I would say that his position is by far the strongest at this point.
Well, I mean, I think it was only 10 minutes ago, correct me if I'm wrong, that Otto was down to 40 villagers, and then Greg let Otto boom back, because Otto is now at 71 villagers, meanwhile Greg's only at 83. I don't know, he really let Otto get back into the game there. I think from the moment Otto only had 40 villagers left due to the raid, I don't think it was Otto's game to win, but rather Greg's game to lose.
I think that's fair to say, but still, I think the big issue here is that Greg is not adding in enough eco behind it.
True, and Otto has now a ball of 41 camel archers that pretty much shred everything that Greg makes, apart from the rams. But yeah, and he still doesn't have the elite tech though. That would have been really good here.
Not elite, not chemistry, not the last armor.
Yeah, yeah.
He does
have
get
those upgrades.
I'm not sure if he even has thumbring. Actually, gonna check that quickly. Give me a second.
Yeah, I do understand that he hasn't gotten elite yet because it is insanely expensive.
As it should be.
Yeah, it is 1,000 wood and 500 gold, which in this scenario is resources you really can't share. And Otto's even going for the counterattack now, so I just I don't like the way Greg has played this. I don't like it. I think he was in a substantially better position 15 minutes ago, and now all of that has been turned on its head.
Still, game has at least equaled somewhat outright. At this point, I think they should think about late game a bit more. Walling up, getting castles up, taking the resources on the sides, getting relics in. Also, of course, trying to raid. For example, let's say Otto just coming in at the sides there with well, it probably doesn't have the food eco at this point, but just think about it. Let's say you had 10 light cows running around in the base of Greg here. The bottom is completely exposed, and his own base is only now getting a castle up.
Yeah. I don't know what's the play here for Greg. I think he waited too long. Should have killed Otto. And now I think Otto is at an advantage here. He has the better late game civ here. But yeah, and that's a lot of camel.
Chemistry now coming in as well. Last armor is in, so he's soon only gonna be missing elite upgrade. But now again, more raids with light cav.
Yeah, the raids with light cav, but I don't know if Greg does raids as well as Otto does. Interestingly, Otto was up in bill count a couple of seconds ago before the raid hit. So can you just imagine this? Otto was all of a sudden, like 15 minutes ago, Otto after those raids was down so many villagers. Then he even got up. I mean, that really shows that Greg let the momentum pass. He should have taken the chance when he had the chance. And Otto can micro those camel archers all day long. He doesn't mind. He can micro those all day long.
There's still something that takes your attention, right? Let's say then they're just sending in something to raid in between.
True. But Otto is at a pretty big advantage there that his most southern TC there is on hill. It's really helped him a lot.
Yeah, I guess so. Also having the castle there as well.
Exactly. Yeah, and Greg is gonna lose all those halberdiers. Meanwhile, populations in terms of villagers are still pretty close. Otto 82, Greg 91. So I don't. His raiding strategy is not working well yet. So he's gonna have to
So
come up with something else.
Greg is at this moment getting chivalry, he's getting conscription, he's gonna get bodkin, he's making rams at the
Bodkin.
same time.
He's getting bodkin?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly why.
Why? What is he gonna do with that?
And I'm really not sure
Interesting.
exactly what Otto is doing at the moment, because he's not producing anything.
I think Otto is trying to boom his way back into the game.
Not stable.
Man, just imagine if he had elite camel archery though. How good that would. And look, it's the same. It's doing the same thing again. Otto is just retreating to his hill, and he can clean up any army that comes by there. He's in a really good position there. Greg is gonna have to push him on a different side.
I just wish Otto would be expanding a bit better here.
Yeah.
Just
Otto adding in light cavalry now as well.
Yeah.
Or clean melee units to cheap melee units to clean up the rams. Yeah, I mean it's not looking good for Greg now. I hate to say it.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
It's
But also,
not
I
looking
feel
good.
like Otto should just take more fights here. You have the way better units. Just take fights, then retreat, take more fights, walk into his eco, kill eco. He's been playing so defensively. At the same time, Reg is trying to raid a bit here, and Otto is just attacking the cap rams at this point. Otto is not getting his piece there at least, that's at least something.
Yeah.
But now Otto has cleaned the army, right? Otto has now cleaned all the army, he's got a big army advantage. Go forward, start cleaning up stuff.
Yeah. I think Otto wins this game if he goes and raids Greg's eco in the south. I mean, it is so open, so exposed.
He might still win it without doing it, but he wins it immediately if he does it.
I think he's going for it now. Actually, he's sending light cav forward.
Guess we'll see. Should at least get scouting on how open it is now, so that's really something. This is actually a bit frustrating to watch almost.
Yeah.
Both now have so many opportunities to win this game.
And yeah, the thing is just that Otto just now has this death ball of camel archers that Greg cannot counter ever. I think Otto's is going to keep microing this all day long. There's nothing that Greg can do here. And I just don't think he's ever going to be able to clean up that large mass of camel archers.
Also, let's say he just sends 10 camel archers to the side and just kill. Well,
exactly.
Stables are actually coming up on the side now.
Knutan. Yeah, this is the play. This is the play. This is how he's gonna do it. He finally realized that all he needs to start doing now is raid Greg.
And well, he doesn't have a food eco yet, though. That's the issue. He's getting it, but
true. I mean, he's got 40 something villagers on food.
Yeah.
Not too
he
bad.
just jumped by 10 in a second, so he's doing a good job now at least. Ooh, Bomber cannon's out from Greg now. It should be quite easy to snipe from him. And that's 58 camel archers at this point.
Yeah, so if Otto manages to raid while retaining his mass in the north, then I don't think Greg can do anything. So Greg cannot push him, and at the same time, he's going to get raided to death. So it's I must say though, I don't know. Yeah, I in my opinion, I still think that Greg threw this game, but at the same time though, you have to applaud Otto for making the right choice here by going camel archers and microing those camel archers really well all game long.
Yeah, I agree with you there, but also feels like both of them are being very hesitant in what they're doing, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it looks like Greg is going for a big push here. A lot of rams, a lot of bombard cannons, halberdiers, and cavalier. Is that going to be enough to clean up? Oh, Otto needs some micro. Otto needs some micro. Otto's not micro. Okay.
That fight is now going to be taken underneath the castle again, right?
Yeah.
I think the TC will go down for sure here.
I don't think the castle will.
At least now also, Greg has now gotten castle up in his own eco.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we actually will see a game 4 here.
Otto's up 15 villagers now, though.
Yeah, but he will lose the castle.
Yeah.
And he's losing a lot of. He's losing way too many
his,
units actually.
He's lost his entire massive camel army. Oh, I feel he could have done that much better. I feel he could have microed that much better though. He didn't. That's a shame. It's a shame. At the same time though, he's due to his rating now. He's all of a sudden he's 25 villagers up from Greg. But at this point though, I don't know if it matters because I think Greg has reached this critical mass that can push it. But again, you know, we've been wrong a lot of the times here. And,
well, this is an army that can easily be microed down by Otto if he's doing it properly. That's the big thing. I think Otto now needs to expand, get on more of the stone, get on odd gold, collect relics, do all the late game stuff. Because if you can just clean up the rams here, he doesn't really have that much to push against, right?
And Otto's ratings have been brutal. Otto is now at 126 villagers and Greg only at 85 villagers. That's absolutely crazy how good the rating's been for Otto.
God. I know T90 gets mobbed for having bad farms, but Otto I think is taking it to a whole another level.
Yes, he really is. He's not even trying. Like look at the north. What is that? What is that? He's not even trying.
I know. I don't like what I'm seeing either.
He's the boy that didn't clean up his room and that doesn't care what his mom thought about it. That's basically what this is. He's not tidy and he doesn't care. And Greg is cleaning up that base, the on the right hand side, the stables. So it's not good for Otto. At the same time, though, I feel like Greg is on a nearly purely trash-based army composition now, whereas Otto does not have an answer, a trash answer to the halberdiers yet. So, and gold is running out for both of them.
There are still a fair bit of gold left on the map, but I don't think Otto has seen too much of it.
Yeah, they haven't scouted it or they're not taking it right now.
Auto scouting is very bad at this point.
Yeah, is either of them going for the relics, by the way? I don't think so.
Well, he's only seeing one at the moment, right?
Yeah, oh wait, Greg does have 2 relics, which is really good.
That's good at least.
Yeah, Otto has no relics.
That's a nice raid coming out from Otto actually at the top of a great space. To the left of his...
Again though, Greg is now on 70 villagers and Otto on 140 villagers. Question, are we gonna see the same game we did last game? What is this? Is Otto just gonna go with the same strategy again? Otto just, he's again, but this time he's in a position where he has the better civ actually, so.
Yeah.
Is he gonna lose that castle though? I don't.
Well, he could maybe mark it down if it did villagers, I think.
No, he's oh no, he's
repairing. It should also work, I think.
Some white tabs.
Even getting the Hussar upgrade now.
He's committing. Yeah.
Should stay up.
Again though, Otto's 60 villagers up all of a sudden, and at the start, like in what was that? Early Imperial Age, that Otto was only down to 40 villagers. It's kind of insane to see how Greg allowed him to come back into the game like that. Otto being very sloppy though, losing a lot of camel archers.
Yeah. At this point, at least, Otto got the eco right. He finally actually has enough eco to do what he wants to do.
Exactly, which is raiding again, and he can do it. You know why? Because stable units cost 20% less in Imperial Age, so he's got a really cheap Hussar option here with all the upgrades. And yeah, looks like he's gonna try that again. It's yeah, and he's gonna
Bomber
snipe
cannons might go
bombard
down.
cannons.
And Greg's eco is not looking that healthy at this point.
No.
Down to 71 villagers. Left side is looking very exposed as well. Another raid coming in. 12 Hussar. Ooh, that's gonna be cleaned up. That's 3 bomber cannons dead. That's some expensive units at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make of this game, team. I didn't know what to make of it last game either. I thought that Greg was in a good position and threw it, and is the same thing going to happen again? Is Otto just going to go for the trash option?
The big thing that this game is saying that don't do 1 TC all the game.
Yeah.
That's the big thing that this game is telling.
Important, Otto is collecting relics.
So it's
got 1 relic.
Yep. At long last.
Yes, that might be important in time.
I don't think it will be important, considering just... Hey! We're actually seeing TCs coming up from Greg at this point, on the left side. So he's adding his second and third TC at the 120 mark. There's only 3 castles left from Otto.
Oh no! And Greg tried to castle drop Otto on the right side there. It's just gonna lose all those bills. DAO castle.
Oh.
Hey.
You can see he tried to drop a castle right by the monastery of monastery here. Being gone now.
And guess what? Otto's gonna commit to more stable, so Otto's gonna do exactly the same thing. And I hate to say this, but Greg is on 59 villagers and Otto's on 152, so Otto is just gonna do exactly the same thing. He's gonna go for map control and he's going to go for raiding.
Yeah. At this
Greg
point the game is over, I would say. It's over double the population from Otto.
Cannot. Yeah, he's got 3 times the amount of bills, whereas he was down to only 40 after Greg successfully raided him for the game. So Greg really threw this game. I hate to say this, but he really threw this game.
I'm not sure if I agree with him saying he threw it, but it was just him being so hesitant with adding in eco. Because Otto did have the castles up at some point, right? Which makes it very difficult to push through that. And they never really had so little army. Population-wise, it was never a really huge difference, I would say. But he for sure did have his opportunities to win this game. There's no doubt about that.
And again, though, I mean, Greg can produce halberdiers, but he just keeps losing bills. And Otto has eco for days. Otto can
I think we start struggling with wood soon, actually.
Yeah.
Greg doesn't really have that much wood left.
No. Otto does have enough stone to drop another castle, though.
Yeah.
You can secure another wood line that way. The question now is, I feel like Otto's in a better position, yes, but how are they going to move forward from here? How are they going to kill each other?
I want to see some siege soon.
Yeah, they should.
I also want to see elite upgrade from for the cannon archers, of course. You should soon have to have
Otto's losing quite a lot of builds there due to Cavalier raid yet. I don't think he's even noticing that. Maybe
Well,
he's overboomed and he's kind of happy about that. I don't know.
well, it's finally down to 130 villagers, which should
Yeah,
be quite ideal. So
big fight there at in front of Greg's base. Gonna take all those halberdiers. The only thing Otto's lacking now is siege, and they should probably make some trebs. So
and we
can just
finally
deal
got
with
elite camel archers at 130. We finally got elite camel archers.
Oh, that's gonna be huge though. I mean, the halberdiers are just gonna die even faster. They got 7 range, they got 12 attack. I mean, yeah, that pretty much checkmates Greg's halberdier push there.
And finally, Otto is finally adding his siege workshops forward. He's getting ready to clean up, I think, now. Greg still with a few cavaliers raiding, but I don't think it should last too much longer. Well, sending in a heavy camel now coming out, should be able to clean that up. Does Greg even have the wood anymore? Greg is actually floating almost 2.5k gold, but has nothing for any other resource at this point. Otto is once again fighting with armor.
Otto is committing now to the siege finally. Otto's dropping 5 siege workshops. That's going to be the end, I think. That's going to be the end for Greg.
Hoping that's gonna be can make something from them though.
Yeah, what is he gonna make though? He's gonna make bomber cannons?
I think that would be the best, yeah.
Yeah, that is the best option, but I don't know if he is going for that. I think the worst option would be to go rams because Greg has a lot of melee units. But let's see. Oh yeah,
bomber cannons, yeah,
nice. He's making bombards. That's gonna be an unstoppable ball here. That's gonna be hard to stop.
Yeah, I think this should be a GG pretty soon then.
Yeah, that is looking like it. Although Greg has made some sort of attempt to boom back a little bit, but yeah, I think it's too little too late.
It should be. Relic wise, I still think Otto has actually gotten 2 relics now, he's even converting Cavalier here.
They're equal on relics. And he converted a Cavalier there that was raiding his base on the very right side, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think this is Greg can't stop these bombers. They're gonna eat away his castles, they're gonna eat away at his infrastructure slowly but steadily. And again, this game is pretty much identical to last game. And Otto needs to micro his bomber. Yeah, this game is pretty much identical to last game. I mean, Greg with the early Imperial Age advantage, not using his advantage, allowing Otto to just go for a monster boom and bait his way back into the game, and that's pretty much, yeah, copy-paste what happened. Copy-paste. Exactly the same thing.
There's a fairly big similarities here, that's for sure.
Yeah, and the only difference is that this game, even, Otto had a big civ advantage. So, whereas last game, Greg had the civ advantage.
I don't think I would say that it's the biggest advantage before late game, I would say, but...
Yeah, well, exactly, yeah, I agree. For late game, it's pretty significant. And yeah, he's just gonna push forward. And this is, slowly but surely, this is the end for Greg. It's, the only thing he's making right now is halberdiers, which are not going to
and castles.
Yeah.
Adding in 2 castles on the left side.
Oh, Otto needs to micro his camels though. Otto needs to micro his camels. Yeah, and he's doing that. Only minimal losses. Yeah, I mean,
at this point I would say that the game is completely over. Just don't see how the frag break can ever get back in the game.
I'm just slightly surprised by how that went, if I'm honest. I did not expect that to happen this way.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised.
I thought Greg firmly had the game, and then he managed to lose it. Anyway.
think Greg at least was very close to having it, but I don't think that it wasn't over at any point either.
Otto seems to be spelling a word in the.
That's gonna be a
north
5 coming
location.
up soon, so
Yeah.
I want to see the cast. I mean the one of the drop soon as well, just to.
Yeah.
That's soon gonna be a 5, I think. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that 5 could be a bit better, I would say. Delete the farm and get it a bit more proper.
Otto slowly eating away Greg's castle. I-05.
105. You can resign now.
Oh, like that.
I think the 5-5 should have been better though.
Yeah.
Can't give Otto too much credit, right?
Yeah, Otto's getting a little bit cocky here, but I'll allow it. I'll allow it. He did win pretty spectacularly both games where he should have lost. And but yeah, I think Greg just really needs to work on his late game, to be honest. I think he threw the game twice, not deliberately, but you know, just not making the right choices.
I think Greg had his chances, but I think he needs to practice both early game and late game.
Yeah.
Because his uptimes, well, maybe it's better on Arabia when you have the standard resources, but at least in these cases, it starts to be very shaky. Not that Otto's have been good either, but they've been a bit better.
Greg has lost his relics as well now. Not that he was making any gold units, but still. How do you stop that ball of camel archers? You don't.
You don't. That's a simple answer.
Yeah. So, and he's gonna lose his no, actually, it's quite a lot of castles. I just saw that.
Well, the funny thing is that his eco has been, well, I mean, his eco has been around this entire game, it feels like.
Yeah. Also, Greg going into skirmishers now, which is good, but way too late, I feel.
Well, Franks are bad at skirmishers though, so...
Yeah, true. And the only thing that's basically a problem now is that Greg has castles everywhere, so it's going to take Otto quite a while to clean everything up, but at the same time, I think it's over.
Yeah. Well, Otto is now losing at least some more eco, but...
Yeah.
It's also just making more space for army, I would say. So. Otto is still floating 2000 through at this point, so he should be able to just... completely just... probably go well over 100 military, I think, in this case.
Yeah, and at the same time though, Greg's also being Ribben on the left-hand side of his base, so...
Yeah.
Otto should make a monastery next to those relics there and secure the gold income. Should be really useful.
Wouldn't have been a bad thing. Oh, Frank skirmishers lacking both bracer and the last armor upgrade.
Not good. Also, Otto has like hussars even out on the field.
Now he even got the +4 attack on them as well, so now they're fully upgraded.
Yeah, it's not looking good. I mean, Greg can probably hold out for another 15 to 20 minutes if he wants to, because he has a lot of castles and Otto's pushing quite slowly, but at the same time, what's the point?
His population is gonna drop dramatically very soon, I think.
Yeah. At the same time, though, Otto's been raided to death as well.
Well, the big difference is that there's 13 army to 111. That's the big difference. Oh, he's even fighting hussars with villagers now.
That's bad. Greg down to 45 villagers, going down. Oh, painful to watch. Losing the castle as well, that would...
And now I think he's even seeing the 105 actually. Greg is finally seeing the 105 and then instantly resigns.
Yeah.
The BM coming in clutch.
Well, that was a good series. That was a good series, Knutan.
Yeah, it was a good series. Not at all what I would expect of a 3-0, but...
Me neither, if I'm really honest. But I think, without disrespecting Greg, I think you can say the best player won today. And I think it mainly came down to the fact that Otto had good macro. He was controlling the eco really well.
Yeah.
He managed to, even when he was down to only 40 villagers, managed to boom back up to 140 villagers. Yeah, and Greg never really went for a good big boom. And Imp, I think you said earlier that having around 130, 120 villagers is ideal for Imperial Age, and Greg never even reached close to that. I think the max amount of villagers he ever had was around 90.
Well, if you're
So,
spamming Hussars late game, usually you need around 60 to
yeah,
70, even maybe up to 80 farms at times, right?
yeah. And I mean, that was his strategy because he did raid Otto, and the raids were effective because Otto's base was super open. So I think that if Greg had gone for a big eco, big raid push, then that would have been really good too. But he
Mm-hmm.
never really committed to that. And he slowly let Otto go back into the game, using, of course, his superior camel archer unit, I think is also very important to say.
Look how little wood there is
Yeah.
left on the map actually. There's only that single clump of trees in the middle.
Yeah.
That's all the, as well as stragglers of course, but that's all the wood left. Oh, this would actually have been a wood game soon if they were equal. It's actually kind of funny. It would also, of course, have been a big advantage for Otto, considering that he already has cam archers out and Hussar compared to the light cav of the frag player.
Yeah. Well, I think I'll close it here, but that was a really good performance by Otto, and the way he managed to come back in both games while the odds were stacked against him is impressive. And what can I say? I think, yeah, Otto just raided to death his
Mm-hmm.
opponent. And I think that is something that everyone who plays Otto now will have to keep in mind, that Otto is prone to doing this. He did this in the last two games. He was down, his ego was smaller, and then he committed to massive rebooming and then full on raiding. And in both instances, it really killed his opponent. So good game to both.
Good game, yeah. The other
Yeah,
thing that I
good
want to
game.
say to Otto, please improve your farms, please. Just for the
Yes,
sake
it
of my
is.
mind.
Oh my God, it is horrible to watch. And to Greg, I would just advise him to, I don't know, maybe because at
Make a
both
plan
games,
before you
yeah,
actually start the game. Think
and
about
and
what you
and
want to do.
and
That's the big thing.
exactly, and both last games, he had a large mass, and he could have gone for the critical push, but he waited, and might have, yeah, maybe should have just committed in both games, because if you go late game with Otto, apparently Otto will just raid you to death.
I think the big thing here is that he went for a lot of ramps in this game, right? Let's say he instead has 3 or 4 bomber cannons earlier, and just protects them with a ton of halberdiers and just tries to clean the buildings from Otto. That could have
Yeah.
worked a lot better, I think, than just having the rams there.
Yep. Yeah, but an interesting game. I did not think that, if I'm honest, I didn't think that Otto would dominate this series so much. I thought they were pretty close to each other in terms of level.
Well, I would say that it's been pretty close games for the most part. Not the first one, but the second and third one has been very close. A few bad decisions from both of them, making the games a lot closer than they probably should have been in both cases, I would say.
True. Yeah, true, true.
But that's
True.
just how the game goes at times, right?
Yeah, that is true. This is what you can expect at this level of play. People start to panic. It's not like the pros. Now, this makes you realize just how good these pros are, because they don't, like, even if they get into a very sticky situation, they still manage to keep their composure and do
Hmm.
good decision making. All right, I'm gonna head out.
Yeah,
Thank you for allowing me to cast.
it was fun. So see you around.
Yeah. All right. Later.
See you. Okay. Yes. Okay, then I guess it's gonna be just be me closing down the stream. We probably had a pretty decent series, I would say. A bit unfortunate it ended up being a free O, I guess, but I would say it was a fairly competitive matchup. First game a bit unfortunate from Greg's side, but I would also say that just the strategy there wasn't ideal. Second and third game, I would say that Greg had several points where he was in a big advantage, but after managing to rebound back into it very nicely and ended up winning it. don't think there's too much more to say after that, but GG's to both of them, and see you around. That's gonna be the end of the stream this time.